Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with my dad, John Rush, behind the camera. And this is the review of the 2016 BMW 3 Series. This is the 340i. For those of you that aren't familiar with the BMW 3 Series, this is the, I guess you could say, top of the line trim level. There's 4 other trim packages that we'll get into. For 2016, what's new? Well, actually, the 340i is about 5 numbers different than the last year's package, which was the 335i. And what does that give you? The biggest difference is going to be horsepower underneath the hood. You're going to get 20 more horsepower with this new 6-cylinder engine that BMW has put into here, which really does make a difference. My in-laws actually have a 335i, a 2015 335i BMW. They absolutely love it. We'll get into why in just a second. But with that, actually, let's get into kind of a walk around of the vehicle. For those of you that aren't familiar with BMW, you won't notice a whole lot of differences from 2015 to 2016. For those of you that are fans of BMW, you'll notice the refined exterior styling. They've given it a little bit of a more stylish, sleeker look. The fancy LED headlights that are on this vehicle, and I can tell you they work fantastic. Go around corners. They have the, as we like to call them, the adaptive headlights, you could say. So again, new for 2016, mild exterior styling and interior trim enhancements. We'll show you those in a little bit. The 6-cylinder, they've also changed the 335i badging to the 340i as we kind of continue the walk around here. The new engine with more output and a standard 16-speaker stereo system. I'll kind of come around to this side so you can get a better look at it. Auto remote navigation updates, which means you don't have to take it into the dealer anymore to get updates. LED headlights are available. Also, the Sportline package is standard on all but the 320i trim level. And real quick, I do apologize about the dirtiness. We just had a rainstorm come through here in Colorado, trying to get it in between that. This is the xDrive model. They do have 2 models available of being the xDrive or just your rear wheel drive, and that's on all trim levels. Again, well, let's talk about the trim levels really quick. 320i, 328i, 328D, which is for the diesel, and the 340i. All of them are available in the all-wheel drive, which is the xDrive, as I just mentioned. For this vehicle, there is a 6-speed manual available, and that does come with rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, which you won't find on a lot of the other luxury sport car manufacturers, sport sedan manufacturers, I should say. The 6-cylinder engine, real quick, going to point this out, 18-inch alloy wheels for this, for the 340i, LED headlights, matte chrome exterior trim, keyless entry and ignition, power trunk with foot sensor, which we'll show you in just a second, sunroof, and 16-speaker Harman Kardon audio. Which, speaking of the foot sensor, I'm going to lock it. I'm going to kind of step out here, Dad, if you will, so it can kind of sense that we're gone. One thing I will note that is an option on this is this color. This specific red color, I think, is a metallic red, they call it. This is about a $500 option, as well as the leather, and we'll get into some more of the trim here in a second. So it doesn't have a full power trunk to where you can actually hear the mechanism working. It's got just enough of a spring into it where you can either use the key fob or you can go up the foot. Real quick, I am going to show you this key fob. I think it's really cool, just a small feature. A nice red line right here on the outside of it. I just think that's a handy, I don't know, cool feature in my opinion for BMW. So you come up behind it, key fob in my sweatshirt pocket here. And I believe you wave, and you'll see it light up here in just a second. I tried it earlier and it worked. There it goes. And you can see it. Again, it's not an automatic to where there's no buttons to push to make it go back down. But it opens up. It has a big enough spring that it just opens up all the way. Very nice size trunk, I believe, and I'm going to make sure I get this correct. 13 cubic feet in this. If you get the wagon with all the seats folded down, you're going to have a lot more room. Really nice, really handy. You do have the ability right here, and actually, I don't think there's anything in the seat. I put it on the floor. So we'll pull this, and it actually unlatches that. I'll go over here. Oh, it's locked, so we'll unlock it. Fold it down, and you've got that, again, a very nice, almost nearly flat surface as an ability to store extra cargo, whatever it might be. My wife and I are actually moving into a new house right now, and this car held several boxes for us, was really nice, held them nice and secure. I do like the cargo net, and there's also some spare tire storage underneath this back area. But with that, Dad, you just want to roll right into the back seat, so we'll roll over here. I think the lighting's a little bit better. lift up right here, and we'll hop in. First thing you'll notice, ton of legroom. Absolutely awesome. This is set for a 5'9", 5'10" driver, and I've got more than enough legroom, especially with these indentations right here. Would easily be able to fit probably a 6-foot tall person. One thing I will comment on is the nice leather stitching or the red stitching that is along here. My in-laws did comment on how they love that. An option, and I'm not sure of the price tag on it, but this is an option of the manual rear shades. So you can put those up here. Make sure I can get that. Again, you've got this on the main window as well as kind of the side view window. Really a nice feature. Nice soft touch leather throughout here. I get this nice kind of chrome or brushed wood finish. It's a plastic piece, but it's a nice finish on it. There are heated seats back here in the back seat. You also do have a power port along with some vents and that, if I'm not mistaken. You've got a cup holder right here in the center console, which is really nice, along with the vents that we mentioned back there. So with that being said, actually we'll kind of stop, or I'll get out, show you the getting out process. Very easy to do, not difficult at all. And with that, why don't we actually head to the front seat? All right, fans, here's the front seat portion before we get going on our drive. Before we get to more of the interior, I want to show you something that's really nice. Power seats for the front seat passenger, which is nice. We try to remember to show you that a lot, but really nice. You do have lumbar support as well. These seats are very comfortable in our opinion. As you can see, you can adjust how these feel, how they sit. You can actually pull this little part out here, so if your legs are a little bit longer, you want to extend that out, you can do that very easily. Again, the apportionments on the door very similar to the back seat that we mentioned at the start of it. That 16 speaker Harman Kardon audio system is a nice option, nice standard option on this vehicle. As we come along to the front, again, some nice wood kind of faux finish right along here. Nice brushed aluminum. Just very much a BMW look, but that's what you expect. You get that nice styling, very aggressive look, in our opinion, something that's really fantastic. It's harder to do it in the driving portion. You do have a nice sunroof up above, which is really, really nice. Very nice and wide. It almost seems a little bit wider than normal. It really just brings in a lot of light. Works really, really well. This does have a lot of features, which we'll get into in the driving, including active cruise control. You've got front collision mitigation, lane departure warning, a lot of different things, which we'll show you in that. Overall, really a nice interior. We will show you the center console because it's hard to show you that. You've got the snap-in adapter for your phone right here, your auxiliary, along with your USB port right there. There's not a whole lot of storage other than the ability to put your phone right there. Right here, you've got a couple cup holders. You can just slide forward with this. Again, that's a nice feature to give this car a nice clean look to it. But overall, very, very much impressed with the interior. And with that, let's actually hop in, head for a drive, and then we'll give you our opinion of the 2016 BMW 3 Series. All right, fans. Here we are for the driving portion. Just want to go over a few features. This does have the optional 8-inch, not touchscreen, but the 8-inch screen. The Idrive System is what BMW calls it, as compared to the 6.5-inch screen, which is standard. One feature that this does have, and we'll actually be able to get, I think we'll be able to activate it. We'll see if it does it. Auto start stop functionality. Some reviewers out there and some reviews have said that it's a little clunky. We're not sure if that's quite the word for it. It's just not quite as smooth as some of the other manufacturers out there. It does definitely help in fuel economy, something that we were definite fans of, which, speaking of fuel economy, I want to make sure I get that right. For this all-wheel drive, 22 and 23 miles per gallon, so 26 average. We've actually been able to average nearly 29 combined, and that's with city and highway. Would have full confidence that you would be able to average right in the low 30s if you were strictly highway with this. You do have 4 modes, I believe. You've got Sport, Sport Plus, Comfort, and Eco Pro mode for this. Let's actually let you hear the interior ambiance, or the interior noise, what that's like. Relatively quiet in here. It is a sport sedan, and so it's a sport luxury sedan, so it's not quite as quiet as some of you might like, but again, just keep in mind it is a sporty sedan. One thing, 20 more horsepower than what you would find in last year's model. I'm actually going to put it in Sport Plus here mode and wind those turbos up, and you get going, and it works fantastic. You can hear it winding up. This does have the DSG transmission in it, which is an 8-speed transmission. Works really, really well. If you want to learn more about the transmission, get online, or actually you can call into our show Drive Radio on Saturday mornings and learn a little bit more about that and what it all entails. As far as packages, as we get up here, I will go over those in just a second, but you can see from the interior styling, BMW hasn't done a whole lot to change it, because this is one of the, actually in its class, in that luxury sport class, it is the class leader, and I don't think they've done anything to change that, to be honest with you. So let's let's pull over right here real quick. We will show you the reverse mode. So if you, as you put it into reverse, you can see the reverse camera. It does have the grid lines. You can turn those off and on if you like. One thing I will show you, this does have the optional surround view camera system on it. So you just hit this button and it allows you to see overhead, almost a overhead view of the car, kind of your back view along your curb view right there. One other thing I will mention regarding cameras, we'll go back to there. There's a little camera button down here that I push, and then that gives me a front and side view. You can see this is the front of the vehicle right here, so it shows you where you're at on the side. So if you were next to a car, and it does shut off as a safety precaution when you are driving. Just honestly, in my opinion, a really cool feature that BMW has added as part of the option package here. Let's put it in park so it doesn't roll away. And we'll back out of the cameras right there. Okay, some few other options. So this car, as it sits, $59,920. Some of you are going to say, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. Let me tell you what you get for that. This car starts $47,800. What did we add? The color, which I mentioned before, leather seats, cold weather package, driver assistance plus, lighting package, technology package, active cruise control, rear sunshades, all sorts of different options on this vehicle. As I mentioned, the driver assistance comes with the lane mitigation, the frontal collision warning, the lane departure warning. It actually buzzes the steering wheel for you. A lot of different options and packages on this car. We could spend all day going over them. We just encourage you to get out and see them for yourselves. As you can see, it does have automatic wipers on here, automatic high beams. The cruise control controls are right over here in terms of that. You have paddle shifters, which are really, really fun to use. Dual climate control, heated front seats. We mentioned the heated rear seats. One thing, BMW, the Idrive system, we don't mind it because we've gotten used to it. Not quite as user-friendly as we think it could be, but I do like how you do have the split screen option right here. Works really, really well. Works tremendous. One other thing, and this is the last thing before our opinion, I think is really, really cool, is you can go to the sports displays, which shows you your horsepower and your torque. You're obviously not going to get up to 400 horsepower in this vehicle, but you are going to get that 320, which I mentioned in the opening review. And for those of you out there, I pulled that directly from BMW, directly the information that they gave us. So just a heads up to you, if it is a error, let us know. We will be happy to correct it. So what do we think of this car? Honestly, it's fantastic. There's a reason it's a class leader. We are big fans of this car. It fits 4 full-size adults very, very well. As I mentioned in the start, my in-laws actually purchased this vehicle themselves. Last year's model. Works really, really well. The turbocharged engine is fantastic to drive, a really sporty feel. The only thing that we would say, and I didn't notice that I'm on the younger generation. My dad, he's not that much older. Well, I guess he is about 50 or so. He just didn't like the road noise. It was a little bit too noisy for him. But that was something that he commented on, and he said, you know what? But if I'm buying this car, it's a sporty car, I would know that going into it, which is why we encourage you to get out and drive these cars yourself. So overall, BMW, 2 thumbs up from us. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. And if you are interested in this car, head to BMW's website, check it out there. And as always, head to your local BMW dealer and tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.